Hi, everybody, and welcome to this belated announcement to get out to you describing what goes into the final plan assignment that you've been working on all term. And I apologize for that, but I'm going to adjust some deadlines as a result. So basically what you're doing here is putting together all the work you've been doing and your milestones, and you're going to kind of put them together in a single fluid marketing plan. I emphasize that because it's not just copying and pasting what your milestones said, but it's making sure that they flow together and that it reads as a single document. So start by looking at the outline template. It's the document is actually called the Final Plan Instructions and Outline. You'll see that in D12. Keep this in mind that this final paper that you're producing here is worth 200 points, and you're going to actually do a discussion post and replies. Those are worth 40 points. That's 240 out of 1,000 points, or almost a quarter of the class grade. So this is a pretty big deal, so please take your time on it and don't rush through it. So what needs to be done is submit your final plan and document by 11:59 p.m. this coming Tuesday, May 6th. Unfortunately, there's no late submissions, OOPS tokens, or anything like that happening here. The class ends very shortly after this, and next week, as we've been talking about. And complete your summary discussion post. If you look in discussions, you'll see there's a spot to put that by 11:59 p.m. Tuesday, May 6th. And reply to 2 classmates' posts by 11:59 Thursday, May 8th. Okay? Hopefully that jives. It gives you a little more time to get through this. So looking at the final plan instructions and outline, basically you're putting together your milestones, all the stuff you've been working on. You're going to put them together and you're going to put it into a singular marketing plan. So here's the template for it. I'm going to skip down to that. Again, you can read through this. Please read through it and make sure you understand what exactly is being asked of you. You can create an overview of the marketing idea. That's one paragraph. When you looked at the preliminary background information for the plan, for the company, it gives you the story there. You just need to reiterate it here. You want to define the target market. We've been referring back to that many, many times all throughout class. So that's 4 to 6 paragraphs. You're going to outline your key demographics. Make sure you address at least 5 separate research-based variables. Psychographics, same thing. You're going to look at 5 of them. Make that into a paragraph. You're restating what you've already said, so it shouldn't be too big of a deal. State your generalized definition. As we talked about, you created a working definition of what your target market was to help you do research and things like that. And then you want to define your persona, which you've done at this point fairly extensively, so you should have a pretty good idea what's involved there. The next section is describe the needs and wants of your target market as fulfilled and how they're fulfilled by the features and benefits of your product. That kind of concentrates on milestone number 2. Make sure you have at least 5 of those and 3 needs, and then exactly how you address that. Okay, and then you want to concisely write your position statement. Now, this is something you have to take a good hard look at and make sure you've done this right. Your position is, who are you trying to persuade? Who are you competing with? That means you have to look at some of your competition that's out there. And then what makes your offer unique? What's your key strategic advantage? All right. You've defined your pricing strategy. That comes out in about 3 to 4 paragraphs because you're going to talk about your overall strategy and then your introductory strategy like you did with that milestone. And then you want to talk about your distribution selling strategy. And this is where it's really, really important to understand very well where your target market shops and what they do, how they go about buying this stuff. And that has to be research-based. Your intuition, while interesting, is not good enough for this. So in the first section of your promotion, let me stop here. I know I haven't given you feedback on milestone 4, but I will get that to you the next day, I promise. So you'll have enough to finish this up. You want to clearly outline your distribution strategy, and you talk about your promotional strategy, and then you want to talk about what's your overall objective of your advertising, awareness, brand association, acting on an offer, whatever it is. What's your overall approach? Cognitive, emotional. We talked about, the textbook talks about those a lot. What design will you utilize? Why is this your choice? And then briefly outline the message, your primary and supporting message, any secondary message. What is the close? Obviously, your advertising has to have a close. So briefly outline the ways, you'll measure your advertising's effectiveness. In the second section of the fourth of the 4 P's, you're going to talk about your where you're going to deliver your message, so the channels and that kind of thing. So that really, again, should be very research based. Where does your target market get their information, news, all that kind of stuff? Okay, and then the conclusion is basically pulling it together and talking about how you will look at not just launching it, but what are some of the measures you're going to look at to give you an overall idea of success. So you've done most of this work, but it's really important to pull it all together in a continuous sort of way. So if it looks like you just copied and pasted things, it's not going to probably read all that well. So I suggest you put it together, go through and edit it, and make sure that it says exactly what you want to say. So we talked about the flow of the paper. That's what I just described to you. If you have any questions about that, certainly let me know. So how do you do this well? Make sure you follow the template as I've outlined it very closely and precisely. This isn't a free-form writing exercise. This is making sure you follow that template and answer those questions clearly. If I have to kind of interpret what you mean, that may not go well. So answer it very directly, okay? Make the revisions I gave you. I do check. I'll go back and look and say, what did I say? Oh, well, did you make those revisions or not? As you well know, a lot of those are about where you have citation opportunities, where you need to connect with the research you've done, or maybe do additional research and connect with that. So, make sure you make those revisions. If you're unclear on how to do the citations, please look at the library's guide on APA and citations, especially in text, and that can be a little bit tricky, I will admit, as you write these things. It's like, well, where do I put a citation after every word, or I put it at the end of a paragraph? How do I do that? The way to think of it is, when you've made a point that you derived from an outside source, put the research you're basically citing it and attributing it in your paper, and that's exactly what you need to do. Definitely proofread it. Please do that. It's best to have someone you trust to do it. When I say trust, I don't mean somebody who can be honest and is capable of doing it. And it's really important that you know the rubric, how it's actually going to get graded. I'm not going to say it's formulaic, but it's close enough to that you need to know. So the plan grading rubric is up, by the way, visible in D12 under the final plan assignment folder. This is how it looks. Become very familiar with it. Make sure you're hitting on those points as well as you can. It looks pretty familiar, but by the same token, it tells you exactly how I'm going to derive the grades for the final project. And that also applies to the discussion post, that you're going to basically summarize your plan in a discussion post, and then you're going to reply to a couple of your classmates, however you see fit. To get the good grades, it's really important that you cite class material, that you talk about things that we've learned in the class. And these are all outlined as opportunities to help you understand exactly what you've learned, okay? So, in the end, I'll be available. If you're struggling or have any questions or seek any kind of clarity, please let me know. Don't struggle with this. Do it sooner than later, but send me an email. Sometimes you can meet and we'll do a Google Meet, and we'll do a chat, and I'll make sure that you feel comfortable that you can finish it. Please reach out to me if you have that level of need to talk to me about it. I'm happy to do it. I want you to do as well as you possibly can. Okay, so good luck with it. This is bringing it all together, and I hope you enjoyed it, and that will close out your final plan assignment.